is kind of a vibe. We're doing temperature checks, which definitely adds, another level of security. He got the Asian glow. Listen, we're back with the Asian glow in public. Look at how far we've come. Bring it in. Why not? Why not? We can hug strangers again. We can hug strangers again. We have the medical expert from Cedars-Sinai, the one and only. This is kind of a vibe. It's like Asian street food style, you know what I mean? So we're about to go to Quarters, of course, in Koreatown for Korean barbecue, and this is gonna be an experience that, we haven't experienced in a long time. So, you obviously are the specialist, and we're gonna see what we're comfortable with. Obviously, Ada, this is her first time. So let's head on in, because I'm starving, honey.
All right.
Restaurants, I think, opened up, more than anything else because, outdoor experiences as well. And like, now it's indoor Korean barbecue. So Ada, I mean, how do you feel about it? You were kind of on the fence.
Yeah, I think I was thinking about not only stuff like Korean barbecue where you're sharing food, but also on a greater scale buffets where you're not only sharing food with your party, but kind of whoever's in the restaurant, whoever was there before. How should we think about that? I know.
Buffets. I miss buffets. Come on, Asians love buffets.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I think, especially within the Asian community, food is such a communal thing.
Family style, yeah.
Exactly. Everything's family style. And I think that everything we just are a little bit more conscious of very small decisions that we make, right? And there's so many factors. How comfortable are you with the people around you? Are they people that you know? Do you know whether or not they're vaccinated? How good is your immune system, and how well do you think you reacted to the vaccine? So there's obviously a lot of nuances to it. The changes that we make in our behavior as a result of coronavirus may not really be necessary anymore for coronavirus specifically, but it's probably more helpful for other things and hygienic moving forward. You know what I mean? Like, so, if you are using chopsticks and use the other end, kind of like the same thing that you would do if you were going to somebody's house and you didn't know anybody and you were trying to be respectful, like you don't just like put the end of the chopsticks in your mouth and then grab something. So, I mean, those are just little things that I think you can consider moving forward. And then, buffets will be interesting. Right now, I think the communal food stuff, bars and stuff that I see in grocery stores are all like individually packaged. And so I wonder, kind of moving forward, if that's what we'll end up doing, where everything's a little bit more individualized to avoid cross-contamination. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think at the end of the day, it does just come down to like basic hygiene and like common courtesy and human decency, which we kind of like were reminded of, like, oh yeah, I should probably wash my hands more often. You know what I mean?
Hate in the flesh. I thought you were a myth. I thought you were a hologram via Zoom, but you're real. You're right in front of me.
And honestly, like, you're such a big part of me feeling safe. Because I know. It sounds weird, but it's true. Because I think you see all the news, you see all the numbers, you see all the guidelines, but that doesn't feel personal,
Right.
Like, I want someone that I trust to tell me.
Yeah.
And then I trusted you because you're an infectious disease expert who likes karaoke.
Exactly.
Well,
Perfect balance.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Return of the Mac.
Yeah. This is somewhat of like the return of the Mac.
Yeah.
The return of the vax. No, not my best. Not my best.
Are we sure you can't come to karaoke? To just like be here and see all these people and not be worried about all of them?
Yeah. Like in the beginning of COVID, I was so on edge, and now it's like, okay, we have the security of the vaccine. Like you mentioned, the cases are low and the chances of getting COVID are really low when you have the vaccine. So, let's celebrate what we can. And remember how hard it was to get here. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you,
actually was just talking to a colleague of mine, and every day we would go into work and we could pull up this graph that would tell us like how many COVID patients were in the hospital. And at one point, you know, it was like over 400. And now we look at it and it's 3, 2, 5. But if we look back, a colleague of mine was just like, it gives me PTSD to like look at that graph and like zoom out and see how many cases. I mean, it was really dark time.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, we still have to stay vigilant. You know what I mean? We cannot be complacent because COVID is still real. But you know, at the same time, science did everything it could for us to be here tonight. So I think we just dig in with our chopsticks, yo. Family style,
I'm okay
baby.
with that. You know, here's the thing. I would say if I'm with friends, I know everybody's vaccination status, I'm fine with communal eating. If I were not and I didn't know other people, I'd be like, no.
Right.
Give me some serving spoons.
Right. We know each other enough. We've built trust in 30 minutes.